Hello everyone, this is Heather and this is going to be a quick introduction to our chatters. So the chatter that I'm going to go through is the Wall Street Bets chatter, and you can see that we have more than one chatter and the other ones are just similar to what we are going to go through today. So what is a chatter? A chatter is a tool that goes over social media and different subreddits and tries to find all the stocks that have been mentioned. It then sorts those stocks based on sentiment and the total number of mentions, and it shows you the stocks that have been mentioned the most. So we can see that on Wall Street Bets today, MVS was mentioned about 800 times, and then on a weekly basis, MVS was mentioned about 3,700 times. So this just gives you an idea on the hottest stocks in the market right now, especially in terms of their discussion in different subreddits. So we can see that we also have a Twitter dashboard, a Twitter chatter, where you can see that Ethereum was actually the top most talked about cryptocurrency today. Then we have Apple, we have Facebook, both of these had earnings today. And then on a weekly basis, we have Tesla, Apple, and Microsoft. So these are there to just give you an overview of what's being discussed the most. And again, these are really good trade ideas for you to look at. I'll go over how to sort of filter the list down to a few stocks such that those stocks are then really useful trade ideas for you to use. So we have the daily mentions and then we have the weekly mentions. Let's actually go through the more interesting thing, which is the historical charts for the top 9 stocks. So we can see that MVIS is on the top, and so that's this historical chart of MVIS mentions. And you can see that it kept going up, and finally today it went down, but still it was discussed quite a lot of times, which is why it's still up there in the first spot. But what we are trying to see here is we don't want a downward trend in any of these charts. What we want is an upward trend, because that means that the engagement is getting better and better. Although for MVIS it kept going up, today it actually went down, and there is a reason for that. MVIS dropped about 20 to 30% either yesterday or today, and that's why the discussion has started to become less as well. And that's not a good sign for us, and that's not a setup that we want to be interested in. So let's go ahead. We can see the same thing for GME. So we are not going to spend much time, let's say, looking at GME. And then, but for AMC, we can see that the mentions keep going up, and they've fallen flat, but they're still going up. And they're still in an upward trajectory. So that might be something that we need to look at. We might want to visit Wall Street Bets and see how people are talking about this stock, and etc. The really interesting thing here is the clove. So this was actually just flat, but then yesterday it had a significant increase in the number of mentions, and that's a really good sign. Anytime we see a large or exponential increase in the mentions, that's a sign that we need to look at that stock. And a really interesting thing about the clove today is yesterday it was discussed about 232 times. Today it moved up about 14%. So that's why this is such a powerful tool, because it can tell you about the most hyped up stocks in these forums or in these subreddits, and you can take advantage of that before other people get in, and then the price doesn't go up that much. So price has already moved up about 14% from here to here. So that's why this is a really powerful tool. Then we have AMD, but again we are going down. For Apple we are going down, and then for Tesla again we went we went to 61 from 75. So again not much here, but BlackBerry is really interesting. You can see that we keep going up and up and up, and it has not moved a lot in the last 5 or 6 days as far as I can remember. So this might be a good play to look at. So let's say you are going through these 9 stocks. There are only 2 that make sense for us to go sort of deeper into, and those would be Clove and BlackBerry. Since others are not in a linearly increasing trend, we might want to skip those, because either those have moved up or down a lot, or those are just not interesting anymore. So you always want to look for exponential or linear growth in these charts. Then last, we have a more detailed table on what's happening in that subreddit. where you can see the sentiment, total mentions, the change in the mentions, then you can see the engagement and upwards for each of these symbols. Let me quickly go through the Twitter chatter where you'll see Ethereum. Let's see Ethereum again, it has fallen down now. So let's see, I think GME, it's okay, but still it's going down. So there isn't a setup here that we want to look deeper into. So we might want to just skip this particular chatter today, because we are always looking for things that are about to burst and we want to catch them before they burst. Then again, we have the same kind of information here as well. So this was a quick overview of our chatter tools. These are really useful if you're trying to know what's going on around you on social media and on subreddits, and this can often give you really good ideas. So for instance, we found clove yesterday using this chatter, and it's up again 14% today. Similarly, when GME rallied from about 20 to 400, it was here on these widgets first, and then it actually rallied to about 400. So GME went to a quick story. GME went to about 40 from 20, and then it was there on the top of these chatters, almost all of them, and then from 40 it went to about 400. So just to give you an idea on how we look at these chatters and how we find out plays. So that's it for this video. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you.